a very important safety issue. So off and back on. You could practice this all day long just to be good at it, okay? Without altering your grip, off and on. So you can always index the target, shoot, back on with the safety without altering the grip. So you can see the objective with this sweet spot theory is to start to bring your skills to pointability. All right, that's where we're headed. All right, so now we've talked about how to access or index the sight. Here it is on your shoulder. Bring the sight up to your line of sight. Try to get that rear aperture lined up with your laser beam coming out of your eye, the exact pinpoint of the target you're looking for. Bring it up, bring up the sight. You can see that the gun is shouldered high, but there's no real recoil, so it's no big deal. You can hold on to this gun fairly easily. But now, once we have developed that skill, practice with that skill, we're going to move on to the next segment, and that is point shooting with the AR-15. Up. All right, I've switched guns now. We're going to talk about point shooting with the AR-15. This is the CAR, of course, a lot smaller, a lot shorter. And before I actually get into this, let's talk about the techniques that I'm looking to demonstrate here. One of the things that I'm a firm believer in is center line of your body is where your power is. It is where your sense of balance is. It is also where your direction is. And so if I look at the power, ability to control the firearm, not a big issue with the 223. I look at the balance, it's pretty important, and your direction, very important for accuracy, especially for point shooting. So what I'm going to propose here to you is a little bit different than something you've seen here. In close quarter combat, in close shooting with an AR-15 with 30-round magazine, I feel that you can actually take the gun and center it up, basically with your center line, probably just a little bit off the true center, right here on your pectoral, on your chest muscle, and just bring the gun up and work with it like so, all right? Especially this short little gun, especially for building type operations and moving inside of a house. So instead of having the gun out here on the shoulder, because I'm not really going to be using the rear sight in this exercise, I'm going to be using really the front sight as my index. I'm looking at the front sight, I'm looking at my target. I'm lining the front sight up on my target. I'm pointing at the target. Downrange here at a close distance, I've got a target. All I'm going to try to do here is just look and point. All right? So we'll charge it up. Not using the sights, I'm using just the front sight. Up. Okay. 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 All right. Safety on. Let's see what I've got. 3 shots, 3 very effective hits. Centerline body, 2 right up here, which would certainly hurt the guy and or disrupt his ability to shoot me. So now again, this is not a long distance. This is a short 8-yard distance. The objective here, though, is to learn to use just the center of your body and the front sight. Put the front sight on the target. Let's try again. All right? This is what's going to happen in a real deal unless you're very well trained and you spend a lot of time at the range. Okay. Couple more shots. Again, all real accurate. All very devastating, especially with this high velocity 223 round. That's what makes this rifle so devastating, is the high velocity. It's a small little projectile, but the velocity is what enables you to elicit some dramatic response inside of your target, which is going to basically incapacitate or stop them. See, pistol rounds travel a lot slower, but the velocity of this rifle is what makes it so devastating. And you can see how now, by demonstrating that center line hold, I now make myself much more mobile because I am not tied to looking through the sight. Okay? Now this works, and it works very effectively. But sometimes you don't have time for that, especially when you're moving. So if we're moving into a room, I want to be able to just point and shoot. Because as I move, I'm going to bobble. As I bobble, it's going to be hard to look at the sight. So I know from my practice that if I'm moving toward a target, I can be extremely accurate. Moving sideways, a little less. Moving away, very accurate. The key factor is I want to point with my left finger, point right at the bad guy, center line the gun, anchor, center, shoot. And there's my 30 rounds. And basically, I've got 27 hits, missed 3. And all my hits are within a corridor that I would consider to be very effective. So the proposal that I'm saying to you is I want you to take your gun, whether it's a CAR or whether a full-sized AR-15, and start to center line the butt of the gun into your chest and use that front sight as an index. Okay? All right? It's just an index. Keep in mind, you'll have a tendency to shoot a little high if you bring the sight up all the way. So what you want to do is if you have a target, you just want to line the front sight up with the target. Keeping that front sight maybe 6 to 8 inches, perceived inches, off of the actual item you want to hit. Let's go ahead and try it again. Again, now the full-size AR, same thing. Centered up right here in the upper portion, middle portion of my pectoral muscle, my chest muscle. Okay? Now, that shot hit right here. I had the front sight in my eyes, in my field of view. I had the front sight basically right here, okay? That's where it was aiming. I don't want to aim too high, so again, let's try that again. Front sight at this distance, I'm just bringing the front sight up. If I look at it, if I see where that front sight is, I know, a little high there. There it is. There it is. By basically eyeballing where the front sight is, got my 3 shots right here, centered up exactly where I want to hit. And what I'm doing is I'm putting that sight just 6 inches high of the spot I'm looking to hit. So, headshot, I'm going to bring the sight up a little bit, okay? There it is, right on the top of the head. Just missed a little high. Eye shot. Headshot. Headshot, right in between the eyes. Doesn't get much better than this. All right, and again, not using the sight as a true pinpoint reference, but just as a general reference. I'm generally looking at the sight, and I know that it is covering or covered by my target. So I've got the windage down, now it's elevation. And the one thing about a human-sized target is that there's a lot of elevation. So again, keep in mind, hit someone here, hit someone here, hit someone here, with a rifle shot, it's extremely accurate. All right, and that's the thing I'm trying to teach you here in this point shooting drill. Because of the velocity, your accuracy doesn't have to be as precise as it does, say, with a pistol round. So again, here we go. Safety off, boom. Headshot.